So what is the best way to pay off your student loans? Well, the best way to pay off your student loans is to not get them at all. Then your loan balance will always be zero and you will be debt free. End of video. Just kidding. Although prevention is the best medicine, a lot of us already attended college and we've already made that student loan investment in hopes of obtaining successful careers. So now you're at that point where you realize that you have to pay them back. It wasn't free. And today I want to talk about the best method to do that step by step. Hey guys, my name is Jerry and I'm going to show you how you can face your worst fears of student loan debt. Hopefully these steps that we talk about will help reduce your fears and anxiety. So let's get into your worst fears. So the first step would be to realize the problem. And that's usually the first step with a lot of issues that you may go through. You need to realize what the problem is first. If you don't realize there's a problem or an issue, or if you don't know about your enemy, then you can never overcome it. So the first one is to realize what the problem is. Calculate how much you owe, how much interest you're being charged, and how much your principal is. Write this down on paper, or put it in your notes on your phone, or put it on an Excel sheet. So I'm going to show you a few methods that you can use quickly to realize your problem. So number 2 would be to list each loan, smallest to largest. And this is a well-known method, actually I believe created by Dave Ramsey, which is called the snowball method. So you want to write down or annotate somewhere your loans from smallest to largest. And I'm going to show you a few ways right now on how to do that. So one of the quickest ways to jot down these student loans would be in the notes. So you can start with the first loan of $1,000 and the second loan, let's say it's $3,000, and let's say your third and final loan is $6,000. So this is a quick way to just have them in your phone, just so that you know how much each loan is. And if you want to go back to it, you can just quickly go to your notes to go back to it. And when you start paying them off, you can check them off by 1, 2, and 3 as you pay them off. So this is just one way to do it. So the next step would be to budget a certain amount that you can afford to pay to your student loans. And this is probably the most crucial step to take to even realize how much you can actually pay toward your student loans. If you don't do this, then you'll never know how much you have left over from what you spend every month to put aside for your student loans. So I'm going to show you a few ways that you can budget to pay off those student loans. So let's get into those. So the first one here is going to be the EveryDollar app that we're going to go to. And of course you can use any other budgeting apps that you want. I just particularly like the Dave Ramsey's EveryDollar app if you're going to use a free to use application to budget your money. So here we have a income of about $4,500, just for you guys to have a visual on how to kind of budget your income pretty quickly. So you write down your income is $4,500. So your mortgage and rent is $1,400. Your water is about $100. Electricity, cable, and depending on if you have any other expenses that you believe that you're going to have for the month, you would put a certain amount of student loans. So let's type here student loans, and for the amount, let's start off with we can say out of the $1,053 that we have left to budget, let's kind of prepare for, let's say, $500 in unwanted or unexpected expenses here. So we're going to put here the $500 into this section, So that leaves us with $553 left to budget. And now, depending on your monthly situation, you can either add more or add less to the student loan repayment. And let's say we do have more money to add towards this. So let's erase this. And let's say we have $1,000 to put towards these student loans because we have a small emergency fund ready and because we don't have any unexpected things that we need to pay for this month. Let's just assume that. It would be very nice to throw $1,000 to those student loans and be able to pay off your first student loan, which we had said before hypothetically would be, let's say, $1,000 using the snowball method. Also, another thing I want to talk about is, what are your goals? What is your goal to have this paid off? By when do you want to pay it off? How much do you really want to spend in interest? How much money do you want to throw away? That's something very important to ask yourself when you're budgeting for paying off these student loans, because your intensity, your motivation, and your willingness to pay this off fast will be very important in your future, because it will determine how much money you're throwing away into interest. When instead, if you pay that off quickly, that money that you're going to save sooner, you can put it into investments or investing in yourself or things that you're actually passionate about. So when paying off student loans, it's also very important to pay towards the principal and not just towards interest. So in your mind, you may think, you know what, I'm just going to put this certain amount of money, say $100 a month, towards the interest that I'm being charged. If you keep doing that, you will never lower down your actual amount that you owe in loans. So it's very important to allocate that money towards the principal of your loan. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some random guy on YouTube, and I'm just sharing my experiences and the information that I have done with my student loans that I have actually paid off. It's very important to put money towards the principal and not just the interest, because then you're just giving money away for free and you are not lowering down your principal amount, the actual amount that you owe. And another crucial step is to not defer these loans unless you really have to. And the reason why is because every time you defer your loan or go into some sort of forbearance plan or deferment plan, the money that they've been charging you in interest will be capitalized to your principal. So in turn, your principal will go up, and then you'll be charged interest on the new principal, which is your old principal summed with the interest that had been accrued over the time span that you had been paying on it. So try to avoid forbearance, try to avoid deferring your student loans. And of course, you always want to keep in mind when paying your student loans off, when giving extra money towards student loans off, when you do your budget, try to figure out and jot down all of your debt, because your priority should probably be paying credit cards off first. If you have credit card debt with high interest percentages, you want to pay that off fast. And I'm talking about like 20% interest credit cards or ridiculous payday loans that have 20, 50, even 100% interest rates. You want to get rid of those first, because those will just eat at you day by day. So to sum everything up, number one, realize the problem that you have. Go in and calculate how much student loan debt you have and try to itemize each one. And after you've itemized each one, make a list of them in order of smallest to largest and start paying off the smallest first and then the largest last. And you also want to make a detailed budget on everything that you pay monthly and your income. That way you can realize, where can I cut back on? How much can I give to my student loans? How fast am I going to pay off these student loans? And this is very important. Most people do not even create budgets, or people that do create budgets, they'll create it for 1 month and then they'll lose motivation. They'll stop keeping track of their money, and then they won't even realize, hey, where's all my money going? They won't know where their money is going. So you don't want to be in that spot. You want to budget your money every month, and you want to know how much that you can give towards your student loans to pay them off fast. And then the next step is to know what your goals are, to have specific goals for yourself, for your money, for your future. This will determine how fast you'll pay the student loans off and how much money you'll actually give away by paying interest. And that's not something that you want to decrease. You don't want to give money away. Why would you want to give money away? You work very hard every single day to just give your money away? I don't think so. Let's not do that. And of course, paying more money towards the principal will lower the total amount that you owe, and in turn, the interest that's being charged on your account will result in lower sums being charged to you. So let's say you have a $10,000 loan and you reduce it to $5,000. Well, you're only going to be charged interest on $5,000 as opposed to the $10,000 that you had previously. And of course, when you do your budget, you also want to realize, what other debts do I have? How much are my credit card loans? How much is the interest on this credit card debt? Do I need to pay this off first because I'm being charged like 50% interest or 20% interest on these credit cards? Focus on that first. And ultimately, what's the point of paying off your student debt? You paid 40 grand for this, $40,000 for a piece of paper, So what is the end goal with paying off your student loans? Well, it's financial freedom. It's not being charged interest. It's just being able to live your life without the anxiety, without that on the back of your mind all the time. Unfortunately, in the United States, student loan debt is skyrocketing because tuition is just so expensive. And a lot of times people make mistakes by getting these student loans out when they don't even know what they want to do first. And in another video, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about some mistakes that a lot of people make, some mistakes that I've made in my 20s. I'm still in my 20s, but one mistake that I've made in my 20s, and it has to deal with college as well. So the end goal would be, financial freedom. You don't want to be stuck in a loop where you're just paying money on interest month to month and your student loan is increasing because you defer or you forbear it, or you're just being charged more on interest per month. Pay that stuff off. Get that out of your life. And this will lead you towards successful financial freedom. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you got anything out of this, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos, just hit that subscribe button as well. I really appreciate it. And I have a question for you. How much do you have in student loan debt? And what are your plans to pay that student loan debt off? Do you plan to pay it off in 5 years, in 10 years? Well, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you all in the next video.